Hey! Where'd you go, Claire? Who said you were allowed to leave, huh? I can't believe the disrespect. Not even a proper goodbye.
Well, can you really blame me? You kind of left me no choice. Because of you, I'm completely drenched from head to toe. I need to go home now and dry off so I don't catch a cold. What is your problem with me anyway? I assume you didn't dump a bucket of water over my head for no reason.
You really don't know why? That's what you get for deceiving my son. Sorry to foil your little scheme, but the jig is up. I don't know if it's money or my house you're after, but you're not getting either of it. You may have fooled my son, but not me.
I'm sorry? I have no idea what you're talking about. All I did was show up to your home with Evan so we could get you and Diane's blessing to get married. What makes you think I tricked Evan? Where is this coming from?
Oh, playing dumb, I see. I told you, the jig is up. You lied to Evan about your education. I heard you're a high school dropout.
Excuse me? Where exactly did you hear that?
One of the younger guys from the office told me. When Evan first started dating you, I brought it up at work that my son had a new girlfriend. One of the kids I supervised went to the same high school as you. What a small world, huh? Anyway, he's the one who told me you were a high school dropout. That means you were only able to finish middle school.
A former classmate, you say? Interesting. But why are you accusing me of trying to trick your son?
My family has a long history of high academic achievements, you know. My father, me, Evan, all the men in my family graduated from Ivy League schools. My wife, Diane, and my daughter, Sienna, also graduated from prestigious private schools. But my son, marrying someone who never even made it past high school? This is an outrage! I'll be a laughingstock! Think of what my relatives would say!
Okay.
You're lucky you have a pretty face. I'm sure it worked to your advantage when you were seducing Evan. But I can't be fooled. You're an idiot and an airhead, and my son doesn't deserve a woman like you.
So let me get this straight. Because you didn't like what you assumed about my educational background, you decided you wanted to get rid of me. And you thought the best way to do that was to dump water over my head?
I've dealt with dense dummies like yourself before. It's the easiest way to get the point across. If you ever come back to my house again, it'll be mud I'll be dumping over your head. I will never give you my blessing to marry my son. If you knew your place, you would have never had the gall to show up here.
I see. Fine then, we'll call off the engagement. I won't marry Evan. That way you'll get what you want, right, Hal?
Exactly. I guess you're not as stupid as I thought. Glad you finally came to your senses.
Oh, I've come to my senses all right. I realize that I don't want to marry into a family where I have to deal with someone as childish and barbaric as you. For someone who boasts about their high education, what you're saying is incredibly immature, don't you think? Your insults are so juvenile and repetitive, I feel like I'm talking to an arrogant little kid.
What did you just say to me?
On top of that, you're quite cowardly and sneaky. You kept your mouth shut the whole time Evan and I were talking about wanting to get married. Then Evan stepped out to make a phone call, and Diane went to grab some drinks from the kitchen. It wasn't until we were alone that you decided to show your aggressive side. What's worse, right after you did what you did and got me drenched, you started talking about needing a smoke and got out of there as fast as you possibly could. A blink of the eye and you were gone. You deliberately attacked me, and only when no one else was around to see it. Then you immediately ran away. And now you're texting me to complain instead of talking to me in person when you had the opportunity to do so earlier. You're a spineless, mean-spirited person. It's really kind of sad.
Aha! You finally decided to show your true colors. That's how you tricked my son, too, right? By pretending to be a little goody two-shoes. I'm just glad I could expose you. I don't want my son marrying a scammer.
I was just stating facts about what happened earlier. And besides, you're missing the point entirely. Is it even possible to have a normal, human conversation with you?
Shut up! I don't care what you have to say. I never want you to step foot in my house again. Don't ever think of coming back here, or else!
Understood. I thought we were getting along well. I've been keeping you posted about our lives. I would even call you every now and again. I was just trying to build a good relationship with my boyfriend's father. It's unfortunate how things turned out. Goodbye.
Hal? Hal! Oh, I've been calling you for ages. Pick up already. Where'd you go? And why aren't you answering?
Shut up, Diane! I heard my phone ringing the first dozen times. Why don't you take a hint and knock it off? I'm at my usual bar, raising a glass to myself for a job well done. So let me celebrate in peace.
Huh? You're out drinking? I came back to an empty living room after getting drinks for everyone. The floor was all wet. No sign of Claire or Evan. And you were gone too. Ugh, Evan's been texting me, and he's livid. I've been scrambling trying to deal with this, and you're out drinking? And what do you mean by celebrate? What exactly are you celebrating?
I drove out that wretched scammer that our son's been dating. I saved the whole family from being tricked by her. That'll teach her. Trying to weasel into our family without a decent education? Not on my watch! You should be thanking me, honestly.
So what Evan told me was true? You really splashed a bucket of water on Claire so she would leave?
All I did was wash the filth off of that dirty scammer. She was after my money, I know it. I won't accept someone like her as my son's wife. If I'm going to give my blessing, Evan better bring me someone way more intelligent.
I can't believe what you did! You idiot! Do you have any idea how much I was looking forward to Claire and Evan getting married? All the effort I put in to make sure that it happened. 3 years of hard work, all down the drain!
Wait, huh? What in the world are you talking about?
Claire had concerns about marriage and wasn't too enthusiastic about it. Me, Evan, and even Sienna worked so hard to make sure Claire felt welcome and supported by our family. But you ruined everything! You are the absolute worst!
Hey, calm down for a second, would you? What's the big deal? What's your obsession with that high school dropout anyway? There's plenty of other women for Evan, ones that are much better than her. Evan deserves better than that airhead.
What? Have you lost your mind? High school dropout? You didn't say that to her, did you? Oh, God forbid.
Yeah, I did. So what? What's wrong with stating the fact that she only has a middle school education?
It's wrong because it's not true, you buffoon! Oh, no. I can't believe this is happening. Not only did you insult Claire, but you assaulted her too? This is terrible.
I still don't see what the big deal is. Why do you care so much about that woman?
Because Sienna and I are huge fans of hers.
Excuse me? Fans? Of Claire?
Claire graduated from a performing arts high school, one of the most prestigious ones in the country. It's practically impossible to get into. She's one of the most talented and famous stars on Broadway.
What? Broadway?
I have no idea where you heard such an unfounded rumor. But Claire never dropped out of high school. She just took a transfer exam and auditioned during her sophomore year. She left her old school when she got accepted. Do you have absolutely no common sense?
What? How was I supposed to know? That's ridiculous! Who could possibly guess that?
And not only that, she went on to the top performing arts conservatory in the country. She's a college graduate, you idiot! She skyrocketed to stardom as soon as she started getting parts on Broadway shows. She's an exceptional singer and a very gifted actor. Sienna and I both admire her so much.
I can't believe this nonsense!
She's even won awards for her performances. Anyway, Claire is our all-time favorite performer. We've been going to her shows to see her on stage for a while now. When Evan first introduced her to me as his girlfriend, I was absolutely ecstatic. It was a dream come true, a blessing. I felt like the luckiest woman alive.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold on just a second there. You mean to tell me she's a theater performer? On Broadway? You've got to be kidding me. That woman?
That woman? Bite your tongue. Never speak of her like that again. So disrespectful.
Okay.
Since Evan started dating her, I've been trying to make sure everything went well in their relationship. Without being too intrusive, of course. I've been trying to make sure that we stay on good terms. Oh, I was so nervous because I wanted her to like me. She had reservations about getting married, because of her career. So I told her that I would help her out with anything she needed and support her in absolutely any way. I tried not to come across as being too pushy and handled everything with exceptional care. And at last, Claire and Evan were engaged. But then, you decided to act like a complete imbecile and ruin everything!
Well, how was I supposed to know? It's not my fault the kid who works for me didn't have his facts straight. I was just looking out for my family. I couldn't allow an incompetent woman to marry my son. It's only natural for a father to...
Looking out for your family? Don't give me that bull. Even if you don't like your son's fiancé, that's absolutely no reason to dump water over her head. And then for you to go on and berate her? Who does that? What kind of father are you? Where did you leave your common sense and conscience? In your mother's womb?
Well, in hindsight, I probably shouldn't have done that, but...
The only places you ever spend your time are at work and at the bars. You've neglected this family for years. And now you want to act like a family man all of a sudden? Ha! Don't make me laugh. All you've done is cause trouble. Our wedding anniversary, our children's birthdays. You were never home to spend time with us. You always preferred to hang out with your mistress.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. You know about that? But how?
You really thought you were doing a good job hiding it? I know you've been picking up hussies at bars for the last 20 years. After neglecting us all this time, spending your money on those other women, how dare you jeopardize our precious son's relationship?
But those things aren't even related.
Shut it, you nincompoop! I don't care that you went to an Ivy League school. I don't care how much money you make. I have no respect for someone who behaves this way. It's unacceptable. I've had enough. We're through. I'm divorcing you.
To what?
Even though you hardly ever came home. Even though I knew you were fooling around with other women. I always looked the other way. I put up with it because I thought staying together was the best choice I could make for the sake of our children. But I've reached my limit. What little feelings I had left for you, they're gone too. We are getting a divorce, and that's final.
No, this can't be happening. Oh, hold on just a minute. Are we really getting a divorce over something like this? You're joking, right?
This incident was just the last straw. Divorce has been on my mind for a while now. There's nothing you can do to change my mind. We're done.
No, please, think this through. If my relatives find out about it, what will they say? Come on. You have to think about the position that puts me in.
I don't care one bit. My future daughter-in-law is way more important. Don't come back home today. Actually, don't come back at all. I never want you to step foot in my house again.
Don't step foot in your house? You can't do that. That's my house.
What are you talking about? This property was a wedding gift from my father, remember? The house, the land, they're all in my name. You really forgot about that?
Huh? Oh.
Once I fill out the divorce papers, I'll send them to your parents' house. I'll have my lawyer contact you with the details. In the meantime, don't try to reach me. Just so you know, Your mother is a Broadway aficionado, too. Sienna and I started inviting her when we would go to shows, and now she's hooked.
Wait, come on, Diane! You can't do this to me! Hey! Hey, you! You better come back to the house this instant! Are you even getting these? Hey!
What do you mean, come back? Didn't you just tell me to never step foot in your house again?
Forget what I said! Just come back already! Talk some sense into Diane, would you? She locked me out of the house!
Yes, I'm aware. Diane told me everything. And no, I'm not going back. I never want to see your face again, ever.
Just come back, okay? It'll be a lot easier to talk to her with you there. I need her to reconsider the divorce. Now that I know all that stuff about your education was a misunderstanding, everything's good. We can start fresh.
Everything's good? That's rich. You really think everything's good after dumping water over my head and insulting me? I haven't even gotten an apology from you yet.
What?
What did you think, that I wouldn't be upset after everything you did to me? You ruined my clothes that I bought especially for the occasion. The water destroyed my favorite watch. And not to mention all the remarks you made about me. Do you really think I wouldn't be furious? Well, evidently I guess you did. Otherwise, you wouldn't have the audacity to ask me to convince your wife to not divorce you without even giving me a proper apology. I shouldn't be surprised. It must be nice having such thick skin.
Well, all right, fine. It was wrong of me to do what I did, okay? I was wrong to assume you only had a middle school education. I was wrong to dump water on you. So come back already and help me situate things with Diane.
Yes, you were wrong. And? All you're doing is stating facts over and over, but I still haven't heard an apology. But I do have to agree with your statements. You were wrong, and this is all your fault. So?
So what? You know, you get what I'm trying to say, don't you?
It's not that hard to say the words, "I'm sorry." It actually requires very little effort. Even now, you prioritize your pathetic pride over showing some decency. If you can't even apologize over text, that's fine with me. But I won't get involved until I receive a proper apology. Goodbye then.
What? Wait! Come on, Claire!
After that, Hal tried to change Diane's mind about getting the divorce any way he possibly could. But suffice to say, things didn't work out in his favor. Diane rejected Hal and ignored him completely. She kept telling him if he wanted to discuss anything, he could discuss it with her lawyer. He reached out to his kids for help, but they wanted nothing to do with him. They told him they never wanted to see him again. Hal's mother found out what he did, and she was so livid that she disowned him. He was disavowed by his relatives too. Worse than being a laughingstock, if you ask me. A month later, Hal and Diane's divorce was finalized. I sued Hal for damages and got a small settlement, just enough to cover the cost of my new outfit he ruined, and my favorite watch he broke. Hal lives on his own in an apartment now, but he doesn't know how to take care of himself properly, so I heard his place is practically a pigsty. He's become a complete wreck. He yelled at my former classmate who told him about my education and told him it was all his fault. My former classmate just assumed I dropped out because he stopped seeing me at school when I transferred. Hal lashed out at others at work too who had nothing to do with the incident. Someone reported him to his supervisor and he got demoted as a result. I can understand why people value education, but they shouldn't lose sight of other important things because of it. As for me, I received many deep-felt apologies from Evan and Diane. They even said they wouldn't blame me if I couldn't forgive them, and that they would understand if I wanted to break off the engagement. But it wasn't their fault, so I told them they had nothing to apologize for. Evan and I stayed engaged, and a year later we got married. Thanks to them, I still get to give my best performance on stage every day. So much happened to get me where I am now, but I'm so grateful to have such an amazing husband and incredibly supportive in-laws. Hey, Patricia, can I talk to you for a second?
Hi, Mackenzie. What's up?
Did you take money out of my wallet again?
What are you talking about?
I had $1,000 in cash, but now there's only $800. This is the third time this has happened, you know?
Oh, come on. I don't know anything about that. I bet you just miscounted how much you actually had and thought you had $1,000. Can you stop accusing me without having any proof?
I do have proof.
Huh?
I always have a voice recorder in my bag for work. It seems like I accidentally left the record button on. And when I checked it, guess what I heard? Oh my goodness, she only has $1,000? I guess she won't notice if I take 200. I'll just tell her she miscounted. I heard what you said.
You were eavesdropping?
No, I wasn't eavesdropping. I'm just telling you that I had a voice recorder in my purse.
I can't believe you would invade my privacy like that.
Privacy has nothing to do with stealing from me.
You're so disrespectful.
That $1,000 included the money for your rent, you know.
What?
Your apartment is leased by Nathan, remember?
So?
Nathan's away on a business trip today and told me he forgot to pay your rent this month. So I was going to go see your landlord and give him the rent money in cash. So you took $200 from your own rent money.
I didn't know that.
I'll tell Nathan what happened. So please make sure to pay Nathan back $200 from your Social Security check.
Wait a second.
Also, it seems like you made a spare key to our house without our permission. I'm coming over now to take it back.
What's the problem with me having a spare key to my own son's house?
I don't feel safe in my own home knowing you have a spare key.
What?
I'm heading there now. Patricia? What were you thinking sneaking into our house in the middle of the night?
What do you want so early in the morning? I'm still sleepy.
We had a security camera installed last night.
What?
I have footage of you creeping into our house. I thought I had taken the spare key back yesterday. Do you have more?
Of course. I thought something like this might happen, so I had another one made and hid it just in case. I guess I win this round.
I don't really care if I win or lose, but if that's your plan, we'll just change the locks.
What? There's no way Nathan would allow that.
This house lease is in my name, so I wouldn't worry about that.
Is that so?
Patricia, just because Nathan is away, you've gone too far this time. What were you even doing here last night?
That's besides the point. I know you're hiding something from me, your own mother-in-law. How dare you?
Hiding something from you? What are you talking about?
I looked at your bank records for this past year.
What? My bank records?
You're a disgrace as a daughter-in-law, but I guess you're a good worker. I have no idea who you're working for, but I see that you make $200,000 a year. I can see now why you didn't want to quit your job.
Did you sneak into my house so you could find out how much I make?
Well, yes.
What were you thinking?
Don't act so high and mighty. See here, Mackenzie. As a wife, you have the obligation to quit your job to take care of your husband and your in-laws. If you refuse to do so, you should be giving all of the money you earn to your in-laws. Even more so if you're making this much. So, from now on, I'm in charge of your finances.
What? You're taking charge of my finances?
Now that I know your earning potential, I will admit I see you in a whole new light. Earning $200,000 as a 31-year-old woman is impressive. I see that you've been spending quite a bit, but you still have $150,000 saved. Don't worry, I'll use this money wisely.
Are you serious? Did you take my ATM card?
Yes.
Give it back, right now!
My goodness, what are you talking about? I told you this is mine. I don't recall giving it to you. I'm going to tell you one more time. Any money you earn as my son's wife belongs to my son's parents. Which means, as your mother-in-law, it's mine. From now on, I'll spend this money wisely, so all you need to think about is working hard and providing for me. I've had enough of this. Good morning, Nathan. Can you talk? It's kind of an emergency.
Hey, Mackenzie! I'm on my way to see a client right now, so I can talk. What's up?
So, your mom did something bad.
My mom?
Ever since you left for your trip, she's been out of control. She somehow made a spare key for our place without asking, and she came into the house when I wasn't there and stole $200 from my purse.
What?
And that's not all. I made sure to get the spare key back from her, but she had already made another one. And she came into our house in the middle of the night. She looked at our bank records and saw how much I make. And she took my ATM card.
She did what? Has she withdrawn our money?
No, not yet. While I was texting your mom about getting it back, I called the bank and had them cancel my card.
Oh, okay, that makes things a little better.
I don't think she knows my PIN anyway. And the file with my password and PIN information is at my parents' house, so I don't think she could withdraw any money anyways.
Yeah, you're probably right. My mom never thinks ahead. So she probably thought that she would just take your ATM card and make you tell her your PIN and password later or something. God, I'm so sorry. When my dad was alive, he also had a hard time with my mom's reckless spending. The real problem is that there's no one who can stop her.
Yeah. Well, she may have my ATM card, but I've already talked with the bank. And the $200 she stole is part of her rent money. So I told her to make sure to pay you back later.
Thanks, I'll make sure she pays me back.
Okay, sounds good. Also, can I go ahead with what we talked about before?
Yeah, this time she's gone too far. I think we can go ahead with our plan.
Okay, I'll get started on that right away then.
Okay, thanks.
Mackenzie, answer me! Yes, Patricia? What's wrong? Why are you so nonchalant? You're the one who told me to answer you. Whatever. Why is your ATM card getting declined? What? I can't pay back my payday loan. Your payday loan? Patricia, are you in debt? The due date is today. I couldn't get the money together, so I thought I would use your money to pay it back. So I gave your ATM card to the man from the payday loan company who came by the house today. But he said I couldn't pay him back in that way. Of course he did. How is he going to use an ATM card without the PIN number? I thought they could look the PIN up or figure it out or something. Have you been watching too many soap operas or something? It's not like they're hackers. By the way, I've already called the bank and shut down any future activity on my account. What? How could you do that without my permission? I'm allowed to do whatever I want with my own account. I told you that your earnings are mine. Do you really think that's how the real world works? It's your obligation to care for your mother-in-law. A bride is never allowed to talk back to her mother-in-law. That's an old ironclad rule that has existed for all time. Has your brain slipped back to Victorian times? What? I guess it can't be helped. No matter how many times I try to talk to you, you won't listen. I give up. Oh, so you're finally ready to do as I say. Okay, then give me your PIN number right now. No. By the way, let me tell you what I was planning on using that savings account for. We were actually planning on buying you an apartment with that money. Huh? Buy an apartment? After Roger died, Nathan and I talked about the future.
After all, your age is getting up there. Eventually, you would need Nathan and I's help. But to be honest, with how you treat me, there's no way I could live with you in the same house. Especially if you're stealing money from my purse. So we were planning on buying an apartment for you within walking distance from us. And that way, we could keep each other's lives private. Or so I thought. The ATM card you stole was for a savings account with money for that apartment.
Oh, really? My goodness, you should have told me sooner. If that's what the money is for, I'll give you your card back.
No, that's okay. It's too late, Patricia.
Too late?
We'll only be buying an apartment for ourselves.
What?
After what you've done, both Nathan and I are done with you. Actually, I think we've been too patient with you.
What are you talking about? As I've told you countless times, your job is to take care of me. You better buy me that apartment.
I better buy you, huh? It seems like no matter what I say, we'll never understand each other.
It's your job to understand me and what I want.
We've already moved.
What?
We don't plan on telling you our new address. And we haven't told you yet, but Nathan has started a new job.
A new job?
Yes, so even if you go to his old company, he won't be there.
Fine, I'll go to your workplace.
I quit 2 months ago and am working freelance.
What?
I didn't tell you that either. I started earning more with my side job than I was at my company. And it was hard to do both, so I quit my job.
Just hold on a second. You guys are being so selfish.
That's the last thing I want to hear from you. Oh, and about your current apartment? Nathan will pay your rent until the next contract renewal in March. But we'll be terminating the lease after that. So he says you should figure something out.
What? He's abandoning his own mother. It's his job to take care of his parents in old age.
You've made Nathan and I too mad to care about that anymore.
I can't believe this. I'm going to call Nathan.
He's already blocked you.
What?
I was also planning on blocking you after telling you about your apartment, but there was just so much more I wanted to say to you.
Mackenzie?
Thanks to you, I feel so much better. I'm going to change my number now.
Wait a second.
Just be grateful that I didn't call the police.
Please, wait!
Goodbye. My friend told me that I should have reported my mother-in-law to the police, but apparently the payday loan she took out was from quite a shady company. So I thought it was better for her if she would figure things out for herself as she paid back her loan. At least, I think it'll be better this way. And that shady payday loan place called me to ask about my ATM card. But when I told them that my mother-in-law had taken it without asking, and that we would no longer be speaking with her, they said, "So she'll be in that apartment until March, huh?" The man on the phone sounded disturbingly happy about that. By the way, she's about $30,000 in debt. I hope she figures something out.